Greetings and welcome to On the Table. We are broadcasting on RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel 123, which is also live streaming on YouTube. I'm your host, Brendan Paul. Now, consumers are increasingly prioritizing sustainability. They're willing to pay a premium for eco-friendly products and services. Now, this shift presents a significant opportunity for businesses. However, truly embracing sustainability requires more than just greenwashing. It demands a game-changing approach to create sustainable buy-ins among consumers to shift into a purchasing habit with sustainability in mind. And that includes, yes, of course, buying motor vehicle. Now, tonight we'll be talking to Jill Carmo, founder and CEO of iMotorbike, Southeast Asia's e-commerce platform for buying and selling pre-loved motorcycles. Thank you for joining us, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, of course, let's get the engine revving, shall we? Can you share some details on iMotorbike? We're talking about its history, its core activities. Now, which markets you operate?
So we have a holdco in Singapore, and we operate Malaysia in Vietnam. So essentially we buy and sell pre-owned motorcycles. These motorcycles go through a deep inspection process of 170 points where we ensure the quality and the condition of the motorcycle, where we then offer a price to the consumer that is selling the motorcycle to us. That motorcycle goes through a refurbishment within our own refurbishment center, where we look at safety, we look at tires, brakes, oil, and whatnot. And then once that is done, we bring it live to our website, available for people to navigate and see through the details, book a test drive, and get the motorcycle purchased with our policies, which are 5 days deposit, fully refundable.
Right.
6 days return. So post you purchase your motorcycle, you have 6 days that you can basically change mine and get your money back. And then we give you a 6 months warranty, which covers engine, gearbox, and ECU. So basically, we take out all the pain of the process, and we want to ensure that you're really getting the product that you're looking for.
I just love it, because when you mentioned whatever that you just did just now, we are also talking about sustainability, but we hit on to the aspects soon. I've got a couple more questions I would like to ask you. How big is your team, by the way? You sound like you have like a whole bunch of people, awesome crew right behind this awesome initiative of yours.
Yeah, no, I'd argue that no one can do anything alone. The team is stellar. It's an incredible team. We're not that big. We do great things, but we're still very lean. We're about 70 people, but actively expanding and growing.
Right. So obviously, Jill, this is a startup, right? So being a startup, you must be solving, you must be filling a gap in the market or so as well. Can you actually tell us, what are you trying to solve here with the platform of yours?
So I'd argue that whenever there's pre-owned vehicle trade, there's a large complexity of understanding how to navigate the process for any consumer at home in terms of the paperwork and bureaucratic angle that needs to be taken. So change name, right? As basic as that. How do I do the process of, do I give you money first, you give me the bike after, or vice versa?
Because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, right? Yeah.
Correct.
So usually this happens with cars, but your platform of yours is motorbikes that we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So essentially, then you also, when you are about to buy a motorcycle from an end consumer or any other dealer that if they don't provide policies as we do, you'd get the question, like, is this motorcycle in good condition? What is the historical condition of the motorcycle? Is the engine original? Is the kilometers tempered or changed, modified for some reason? So we really aim to provide an excellent experience, and when we don't do, we go after solving the problem.
Right.
So we're always there for the consumer, and we walk the talk.
Right. Now, aside from Malaysia, I mean, the platform exists in Vietnam as well. Now, how do you define these two markets in terms of motorbike ownership? We're talking about high ridership, e-hailing industry, traffic issues, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah. So I think this is fairly different behaviors. They're both heavily bike user market.
Right.
I would say in Malaysia is a more very passion-driven at a few years ago. I'd say now is becoming more and more a very useful beyond passion item to commute. It's an element that serves as the backbone of the economy. The public transports don't cover enough for people to go to their works or take their kids to school or whatnot if they didn't have a motorcycle. And I think that's a behavior that you'd see Malaysia, Vietnam, and across other markets is just super cost efficient, super time efficient due to the heavy traffic that you find across all these markets. And it's just it is far more ecological as well, because the level of pollution you get in a bike compared to a car is also far less safe, all according to OEM standards.
So it's more than just fun having to just ride a two-wheel vehicle, right? Now, let's talk about the trends here in Malaysia. We're talking about its market, by the way. How is iMotorbike adapting to, these trends, to put it that way?
I'd say in terms of sustainability, you'd have a lot of incoming new EV OEMs that come with a very bright intention of making the market transition from ICE bikes to EVs. You also have the obvious standards like we practice internally, so whatever is a battery, what is a tire, oil, metal like the sprockets and chains and whatnot. We all take very good care in terms of the recycling process and the storage process before we hand over to the recycling partner. And what we do itself, we basically try to bring the motorcycles to the OEM standards as we give them the new cycle of life of being resold. So we want to ensure that obviously that factor of buying a pre-owned also supports a sustainable purchase in terms of the environment protection and the care for the earth we live in.
Talking about sustainable purchase, is it going to be compromised, or will there be any room for improvement in that sense? Because right here in Malaysia, definitely there are challenges around. So the biggest challenges facing the pre-owned motorcycle market in Malaysia, do you have any? And also, how do you plan to overcome them?
So I'd say the challenges of purchasing a pre-owned motorcycle is down to, first your knowledge of how to assess if the motorcycle is actually in good condition or not, and that's where we have our very detailed process of inspecting the motorcycles and ensure the quality they carry. And we go beyond, so we give you all the extended warranty, the return policies and whatnot, that even though it might have some problem, we're going to be here to support you, right? So I think that's the massive game change in terms of ownership or selling experience, is that in one-stop shop solution, you basically right? Either selling your bike or trading to another bike or just buying a bike. We can get you covered, and probably within the same day or a couple of days, we get the process done.
Right, fantastic. Now, we're going to be talking about the growing demand for sustainable practices here in Malaysia, and of course, we're talking about influencing factors as well. But before that, we are going for a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
2025 will be a momentous chapter for ASEAN, rich with significance and promise. We'll mark the 10th anniversary of the ASEAN community founding, a milestone in our collective journey. Malaysia has chosen the theme inclusivity and sustainability. It reflects our aspirations for shared progress, ensuring that no one is left behind. It conveys our hope that the steps we take today will endure in the long run. It underscores our determination to keep the future firmly in sight as we move forward. On behalf of the government and people of Malaysia, I look forward to welcoming you all. Selamat datang ke Malaysia. Thank you.
And welcome back to On the Table. I'm here with Jill Camo, the founder and CEO of iMotorbike. Now, coming back to some of the questions that I would like to ask you with regard to sustainability practices here in the country. Now, how do you see the growing demands for sustainable practices influencing the pre-owned motorcycle market here in the country?
So So far, I think everybody's very conscious of the need to protect the earth that we live in.
Yeah.
And it's something that is impacting all industries. And definitely, the automotive and specific motorcycle segment of the industry is definitely very, very aware of the need of caring for the pollution and the what do you do with a used salvage item and whatnot. So there's a lot in what we do that is basically taking care of that side in terms of the refurbishment, but we do see that the consumers do prefer taking the step in choosing, in most cases, a pre-owned motorcycle because of those benefits that they see as an advantage, not only in a personal choice of protecting the earth, but as well as, they get the safety that we provide them with all our policies. Yeah. So they kind of combine both together, and that's why we become kind of a preferred choice.
When you mentioned, Jill, with regards to refurbishment, right? Do you remove the original part of the motorcycle? For an example, a motorcycle that was produced like 15 to 20 years ago, that emphasized the use of carburetor, now moving into something which is more sustainable. So if a person were to sell that particular bike to you, would you change it all a little bit, or do you focus on the other aspects of sustainability?
Yeah, so we have no aim of making motorcycle modifications. So what we do is we understand as you ride your bike throughout the years, depending on the maintenance quality that you carry in your motorcycle, which is also, in general, a problem that is faced across the region, is the standard quality of the maintenance that you get. There's a deterioration on how all the components behave. And because of that, our aim is to bring up to the original standards as much as possible that manufacturer specifically carried for that specific model. But we don't modify. Because, any modification you need to get JPJ approval.
That's right.
And there's all sort of safety concerns. Essentially, you have engineers and huge development departments behind those OEMs that have produced the motorcycle and the vehicle in that form for a specific reason.
Now, eco-conscious consumer behavior grows, definitely not just in Malaysia, but all around the world. More Malaysians are becoming more mindful of their environmental impact. Now, how is this shift affecting the choices of consumers, when they come to you buying motorcycles?
So, in a way, I would argue that it's just the natural path for most populations globally is that extra level of care and understanding. From the statistics that I've read, about 60% of Malaysians are now willing to do that extra spend for a product that is more environmental friendly. So we're all about supporting that drive, and I think we see across Southeast Asia that happening as well. In general, loads of consumers choosing pre-owned or choosing EVs or choosing more beneficial to the environment choices when it comes to their next motorcycle.
Right. Yeah. Now, does it affect with regards to the consumer making decision when purchasing decision? I mean, when they visit you at iMotorbike, because truth be told, some of the olden days motorcycles, they are fantastic. Old is gold, and now when they come to you, does it compromise their purchasing decision with iMotorbike, or no, it's not at all?
I would argue there's all walks of life of people. Yeah. We respect the consumer and their ideologies and their interests. Old is gold in many ways, but the new brings a lot of advantages as well in terms of newer motorcycles with 3, 4 years, 2 years rather than so. In a way, we sell all walks of life of bikes.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter actually. They come to you and they see the bikes that they actually love. And what's actually important is that the focus of iMotorbike is towards sustainability, and that matters most. Yeah.
So in our operations, we try to integrate in every step that we can a sustainable angle. In the bike's refurbishment we also see like how can we bring to the optimal standards of the motorcycle.
That's right.
But then we don't change what the bike is in itself, right? So, and then the consumer behavior as well. I mean, it's, you know, where we learn from as well.
Now, the circular economy is all about reducing waste and also reusing products. Now, how are businesses across different industries adapting to meet the demand for sustainable products and also services, in your opinion?
So, you know, we've been kind of learning along the way and trying to learn how you know, what the consumer does. And we do go about a lot of analytics and studies of all numbers of what we extract and are able to access to get to conclusions. But I think there's a big shift that is happening. And it's something that we're yet to see how things are going to progress, to be honest. For every market, it's quite different. So.
Right. Now, this is a very important question that I need to ask you. When it comes to second-hand goods, we are always talking about trust.
Yep.
Right. So trust is definitely a key in any marketplace, especially when it comes to second-hand goods, pre-loved items, etc. Now, how does iMotorbike ensure transparency, and how do you all build trust among consumers when it comes to buying pre-owned motorcycles?
I think trust is an element that is applied at any great point of, you know, your career, your personal interactions, and building trust is essentially walking the talk, is ensuring that you know, even you might fail, you're going to be there, right? And I think our policies and the processes that we build ensure internal confidence that then portrays trust to the consumer ultimately. So we try to go really deep on the assessment side, understanding the condition, the historical of the motorcycle, and with third-party, you know, interactions as well, the insurance and you know, JPJ and all sort of different access to information that we can have for every specific vehicle and other OEMs. And then from there, building the policies that you can change mine at any given time, so we won't force down any sale on you or whatnot. So I think just by that itself, it creates on the consumer base that he carries the knowledge we do that, the trust that he needs to take the choice very confidently. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you give us actually, you know, some information, the lowdown on the inventory of pre-owned motorcycles available on your platform? Now, is it for all types of bikes, or do you have any specific mechanics in place, especially in ensuring quality and definitely customer satisfaction?
So the world is wide. So how we see it is, if the bike was sold once, means there's a market out there for the bike, right? Because it's already in the market.
Yeah.
And we only play on the pre-owned bike market. So we don't see any bike as an exclusion of our capability of absorption or our capability of purchasing from the consumer. And but obviously there's trends. Everybody knows there's kind of a top 10 motorcycles, like there's a top 10 for every industry that are most sold. And then that changes as well. At every given time there's trends and changes in the market fluctuation. So we want to guarantee we have the largest amount of offer regardless of the trends. So we want to guarantee if you're a Moto Guzzi fan, we'll have it for you. If you're a Harley fan, we'll have it for you. But if you just want a Honda Cup or a UX5, or we also have it for you. So that's kind of our scope.
It's like a different range of motorcycles we have, from the touring bikes to the super bikes and to the easygoing bikes and probably some EV bikes. Yeah, everything is right at your store, 100%. On your platform, iMotorbike. Now, you spoke about inspection early on the show. First question, if I'm not mistaken. And how does your team actually work? But maybe you could actually tell us more about how the inspection work from the first step all the way to the end, and how does the consumer get the best out of it?
So essentially, we ask all documents.
Right.
So that goes the famous grand, right? The registration card. And then if you have available with you the insurance policy, so we know the insurance that you are carrying, and all sort of different invoices for maintenance that you have paid for in the past. And then we started making some questions. Are you the first owner? Are you the second owner, third owner? Did you bought from a dealer, second-hand dealer or new? Did you bought from a consumer? And we go down, drilling loads of questions. At the same time then, we have an inspector going through the bike in detail, so we see the engine vibration, the noise, the sound, the exhaust, the how all of it is looking visually, but also the temperature, water pipes, and if it's carburetor, how's it fine-tuned. So if there's modifications to the motorcycle, if you change the exhaust, which sometimes happen, and if there's any other modification, so all of that takes into account our purchase decision and the pricing that we're giving to you, and then obviously the age, the mileage, and all the natural stuff, right? And from that point on, we offer you a price, and if you're agreeable to it, we'll sign an agreement. We change the ownership name, and we will wire the money to you within 72 hours. Right. Usually it's within the same day, but we give a buffer. Yeah.
Right. I'm just curious, and I have to ask you this question. When it comes to inspection at iMotorbike, how does one fail the test? So there are various factors. For example, modification that you spoke about, and JPJ non-compliant when it comes to their rules and regulation. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I think that's major, right? If the motorcycle had a big accident, if we found through insurance interaction as a total loss bike, but even though it looks very shiny,
and you would know this.
So we would know, because it's registered. Like the insurance companies have associations.
And then you can see whether it's claimed or not, right?
So we partner with all this. Partners, so that we ensure that we have access to this information. If it's a bike that went through flood, if it's a bike that in a way was heavily modified or modified to an extent that is diminishing the capabilities of the motorcycle, definitely that's immediately a no-go.
Right. Now, coming back to some of the questions that I have for you, unfortunately we're running out of time, but collaboration is definitely the key as well in every business. So what are your partners, what do they say in financing, marketing, and how do you see such collaboration as pertinent in taking the platform moving forward?
You don't mind rephrasing the...
Sure, no problem.
Sorry.
So how do you actually see collaboration as pertinent in taking the platform forward? When it comes to collaboration, because it's definitely a key in every business, so who are your partners? What are their says when it comes to marketing, financing, and with all these aspects, not actually compromising sustainability altogether?
Right, I appreciate that. So we have multiple different angles of partnerships that we do.
Right.
For providing the capability of credit or loan to our consumers, we partner with all credit companies that we find available, interested to partner with us in every market. It's a wide range of them in most markets that we operate. And then insurance companies, obviously. And then we have partners for retail, where we expand our capability of purchasing so that we have access to more people that are selling geographically. But we are constantly on the lookout of new ways and new forms of partnership where we can enhance both the partner capabilities and experience and revenue harvest the same as ours. Yeah.
Fantastic. Future plans, iMotorbike, we'd love to hear this. What are the key factors that will drive the growth of iMotorbike in the coming years that you actually foresee?
Yeah, so it's an exciting time. So we're actively looking at expanding geographically in the country. Right. So having facilities in the north and the south regions of the country is something we're actively looking for the months to come. Obviously, enhancing, we believe to have a very high standard of service provided, but we do aim for excellence in serving the Malaysians and the consumer as a whole is super, with excellence is something that we're incredibly driven towards, and ensuring that we keep providing more capabilities on ways to purchase motorcycle with partners. And ensuring that we have more and wider and larger offering as well for the consumers to literally find whatever they're looking for.
Right. Now, before we go, there's this one final question I have to ask you. What about your aspirations here with iMotorbike and the people here in Malaysia and also in Vietnam and probably other countries that you would like to introduce iMotorbike to?
Look, essentially, we're we're super humbled by the amount of love that we're getting by all consumers, and you know that's something comes from all the hard work of the entire team. But at the same time, you know, we're delivering an incredible service package, product package that comes on solving a real painful problem for most consumers, and I think that's. Is not a Malaysia specific or Vietnam specific. There's many countries in the world, all that have high, you know, supply demand need on the motorcycle side will carry the reasonable same problem, and we do aspire to be as wide and global as we can.
Yeah, and of course bringing sustainability along with you. That's the most important
100%.
part, and of course that is the goal, the mission, and the aspirations as well of iMotorbike. Thank you very much, Jill Kamo, for actually being here with us. And unfortunately, we're running out of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jill Kamo, the founder and also CEO of iMotorbike, Southeast Asia's pioneering e-commerce platform for buying and selling pre-loved motorcycle. Now, if you missed out on this episode, well, good news is that a repeat of this episode's broadcast can be viewed again at the same time tomorrow and subsequent days on both RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel, which is also live streaming on YouTube. Till next Thursday, where we'll discuss another topic of interest. I'm Brendan Paul, signing off. Good night. Take care.
Thank you.